So let's demonstrate the AWS DynamoDB. So basically here I will show you how to create and delete the document DB. So first what we need to do is before creating DynamoDB, we need to create the EC2 instance. So let's create EC2. So why we need to create the EC2 instance? Because I will show you how to connect EC2 instance to the document DB. That's why we are creating the instance. So let's create the instance first. So here launch instance. So give the name. Dynamo. Okay, so here we select the Amazon Linux only. So here click on and select the updated version, that is kernel. So in the EMI we need to select the updated version of the Amazon Linux, that is a kernel. Then later instance type is T2 micro, or if you want anything, so you can select this. I'm using T2 micro. And the key pair, you can select the existing key pair, or otherwise you can create a new pair. So EC2 DB, I will give the name because it's a DynamoDB, right? Document DB. So the next is create the security group here. So let's click on edit. Yeah. Then create security group. Give the security group name EC2 to document DB. Then SSH, source type anywhere, configuration storage. Yeah. Then nothing to change anything. That's it. Yeah, click on launch instance. Go to instance, refresh this. So here we can see EC2 Dynamo, the instance is created, and here we can only give the one security group, that is EC2 DB. So here what we need to do is we need to create the another security group. So security groups. Yeah, here we can see EC2 to DB. That is the one security group we have created when we are creating the launching the instance. So click on the create security group. So give the security group name. Here I will give EC2 to Dynamo on DB. So because I've already created the one security group, that is EC2 to DB, that's why here I'm giving DynamoDB. So give the description. Here we need to allow the DynamoDB and the VPCs, right? So here what we need to do is we need to add the inbound rules. So the type is custom TCP. The port range is, here we give 27017. So why we giving this port range means, so here we need to connect the EC2 instance to the AWS cluster DynamoDB. That's why here we are using this port. We need to connect this cluster. So here we select the CIDR block is security group, that is which one we have created when we are launching the instance. The security group we need to select. So after this, there is no need to load the outbound rules. So click on create security group. So here we can see the port range 2707, source description. So the security group name is EC2 DynamoDB. Here another security group is created. The next thing is we need to create the document DB. So click on document, Amazon document DB. So here we need to create the document DB cluster. Click on this. So here there is a two option to create the cluster type. One is instance based cluster, another one is elastic cluster. Here I am using the instance based cluster. The next is cluster configuration. So give the specific unique cluster identifier. So here I am giving demo document cluster. Okay, the next is version. The next is cluster storage configuration. One is the DocumentDB standard, another one is IO optimized. So in the DocumentDB standard is a paper request and input IO charges apply. Instance and storage prices doesn't include the IO usage. But in the IO optimized, no charges for IO operation. Instance and storage prices include to the IO usage. So here I am using the default one, that is a DocumentDB standard. The next is instance configuration. The instance configurations options are limited to those supported by engine that you selected above. The DB instance is memory optimized. And the next is instance class, that is DB T3 medium, that is free eligible. And the next is number of instance. So here I am choosing the number of instance to 1. So the next is connectivity. So in here connectivity we can see there is a two option. One is connected to the EC2 compute resources and don't connect to EC2 compute resources. Here I am not connecting the EC2 compute resources, so select the EC2. And the next is the authentication purpose, the username. So here also I am giving demo DB. The next is the password. So setting the password is two-way. One is managed in AWS Secret Manager, another one is self-managed. So I'm using the self-managed. So click on the password. So can't contain / double quotes or at symbol. So after this there is after clicking on this show advanced setting, so click on show advanced settings. So here we can see that is network setting, subnet groups. Here VPC security group. So we are creating the security group, right? So we are selecting that one. So that is EC2 DynamoDB. So the next is cluster option. So here we can see there is a 27017, the port range I am giving. So the next is default backup, enable permission. Yeah. So in the deletion protection is enable the deletion protection. So when we are enabling, so it can be accidentally deleted. While this option is enabled, you can delete the cluster. So we are disable this because manually show you how to delete those clusters. So the next is click on create cluster. So here we can see the cluster is creating status. So the next thing what we need to do is we need to connect the EC2 instance. So go to EC2 instance, click on this and connect the EC2 instance. So click on connect. So the document Amazon DocumentDB is related to the MongoDB. So we need to install the MongoDB in the EC2 instance. Yeah, EC2 instance is connected. So here we need to install the MongoDB. So we need to install, right? So let's go to this Google and type Amazon DocumentDB documentation and go inside the developer guide. So in the developer guide, in the left side we can see developing with Amazon DocumentDB. So here there is the option connect using the Amazon EC2. So there is two options, one is automatically and another one is manually. Click on manually. So here we can see they provide the steps to how to connect Amazon EC2 manually. The first is launch instances. So we are done with this, right? Yeah, you can see. So instances. The next is create a security group. This one also we are done creating this step. So the next step is create the Amazon DocumentDB cluster, right? So this one also we are done. The fourth step is after this connectivity and done. So the next is connect to your Amazon EC2 instance. Okay. Yeah. In the fifth step we will see install the Mongo shell. So here we need to install the Amazon Mongo shell, which is a command line utility that you use to connect and query your Amazon DocumentDB cluster to follow the instruction below to install. So here I am using the Amazon Linux. So to install the Mongo shell on Amazon Linux, create repository file at the command line of your EC2 instance. So copy this command, go to your EC2 instance connected. So click on this, paste the command, click on. So the file is created, then go to here. So then click on this to install the Mongo shell. Sudo install -by mongodb or -shell. Copy this and paste it here. So it started installing. So here we can see the installed MongoDB is complete. It's successfully installing. So let's go and check it's installed or not. So here we can see, yeah, so it's available. The demo cluster identifier is available successfully. So get inside this cluster, that is primary instance. So here we can see the connectivity and security and security groups and the configuration details contain all the details and the monitoring. It contains the resource utilization and the cloud watch. So let's go to the connectivity and security. So here download the Amazon DocumentDB certificate authority. So copy this and go to the EC2 instance connectivity and paste. So yeah, the next is connect to this instance with the Mongo shell. So copy this, go to the and paste, and yeah. So here we can see, so when we copy this content in the password, insert your password, we need to insert the password. So when you are creating cluster, you can give the self-manager password, right? So that password you want to give this, then we can get this primary. So we can get like this. So go here we can see. So the copy this content and insert your password. The list is the terminal. When you enter your password, you can see the primary prompt. You are successfully connected to the Amazon DocumentDB cluster. So when we get the primary, we can connect the Amazon DocumentDB cluster. So here we can go and see. So we can see get the cluster successfully. The next thing is so we need to insert the data to create the DocumentDB, right? So let's go and create. So here can create, right? So here I'm creating the student. So db dot student dot insert so here we can see here they insert the collections. Here whatever you want you will install. So here I'm installing the student ID. So student ID I will give 001 and the name I will give as Sam. So age 24. The grade is so the next is I will close the browser. So after this click on enter. Okay, unexpected. Oh, okay then. So yeah. So here I'm changing there. So here we can see it's inserted. So I'm inserted the one student detail. So let's go and see here. So we want to insert the single document, then you get the output as inserted one. So if you want to read the output, so after inserting, if you want to read the document, so you can use the command as db.collection.find1. So let's go to connectivity. So here db dot, so I'm creating student, right? So student dot find parenthesis, click on this. So here we can see when we enter the command as db.student.find, we can get the output of created DocumentDB details. So here we can see we are creating the student ID, name, age, grade. So like this we need to create or insert the multiple databases, and you can get the output like using the command as db.student.find. So this is how we create the DocumentDB and insert the tables using the EC2 instance. So this is how we create the things. So I will also in the beginning I will tell you how to delete. I will show manually, right? So because we are disable the delete protection. So let's go to the cluster. So go to instance cluster, right? So select this one and here go to action and click on the delete. So create the final cluster snapshots. No, we don't want this, and acknowledge this to delete the entire cluster. So click on delete. Refresh this. So here we can see the cluster is deleted successfully like this. So we need to delete the instances also. So this is how to create and delete the DocumentDB using the EC2 connectivity and using the cluster. So this is all about the DocumentDB. Thank you.